Have you ever wondered what would really happen if your bank suddenly froze your account just when you needed your money the most? Let me tell you a quick story. Back in 2023, one of the biggest banks in Silicon Valley collapsed almost overnight. I remember hearing about everyday folks, hard-working people just like you and me who woke up and couldn't access their own savings. No warning, no chance to prepare. It was like the rug was pulled right out from under them. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to open your eyes and share what I've learned after a lifetime of watching how money actually works in the real world. Let's be honest, most of us grew up believing that banks were the safest place for our money. But the truth is, times have changed. And quietly, while we're busy living life, three big things are working against that old idea. One, inflation is eating your savings little by little. Imagine this. You've saved up 10-0 and you feel secure. But a year from now, that same 10-0 won't buy what it does today. Prices go up, but your bank balance just sits there. You feel safe, but that safety is slowly melting away. Two, the bank doesn't give you much in return. You work hard, you save, and in return, the bank gives you, maybe a tiny bit of interest, not even enough to buy a decent lunch once a month. Meanwhile, that same bank is using your money to make bigger profits elsewhere. Three, your money is still at risk from things you can't control. Financial systems are not as solid as they once seemed. We've seen banks fail. We've seen political decisions shake economies. And through it all, regular people are often the last to find out something went wrong. But here's the good news. You don't have to be stuck in that old system anymore. There are safer, smarter ways to protect and grow your money. I'm going to show you 7 real assets that can give you peace of mind, long-term growth, and even steady income without depending entirely on a bank. Some are quiet and steady. Some are bold and exciting. And one of them, well, it might just surprise you. Stick with me until the end of this video. I promise, if you're just getting started with investing, this might be the most important 15 minutes you spend all week. And if you've ever felt unsure about where your money should go next, you're in the right place. Let me ask you this. Have you or someone you know ever experienced a banking problem that made you question the system? Just type 1 in the comments if that rings a bell. I read every comment and I'd love to hear your experience. Now, ready to see where your money could work harder and feel safer? Let's jump into asset number 1 in part 2 next. You're going to love how simple and strong it is. So now that we've opened the door, let's walk through it together. You've seen why keeping all your money in the bank might not be the smartest move anymore. It's like storing your favorite fruit in a warm room. It looks fine for a while, but before long, it starts to spoil. Your hard-earned savings deserve better. The good news? There are real, accessible assets that not only keep your money safe, but also help it grow even while you sleep. Let me introduce you to 4 powerful options that are already helping smart investors build security, income, and peace of mind. 4. Treasury bonds. Simple, safe, and backed by the government. This one might not sound flashy, but trust me, it's solid. Treasury bonds are like lending your money to Uncle Sam. In return, he gives it back with interest. And the best part? It's backed by the full faith of the U.S. government. I've known folks in their 60s and 70s who sleep better at night because they know their money is in bonds, not bouncing around in some risky stock or crypto. Right now, these bonds are paying a return that's actually higher than what most banks are offering. That's a steady stream of income with very little risk. It's perfect if you like predictability, peace of mind, and knowing your money isn't going anywhere. You can get started with as little as $100 through treasurydirect.gov, or even use your regular brokerage account. Simple, safe, and smart. 5. Real estate, the wealth builder you can see and touch. Now let's talk about something a little more exciting, real estate. There's something special about owning a piece of the earth. It doesn't vanish in a market crash. It doesn't disappear into a screen. It's real, it's useful, and it grows in value over time. I once met a retired teacher who bought a small duplex in her town. Nothing fancy, but every month, like clockwork, that little place paid her rent. It was her second pension. She didn't worry about inflation. Her rents went up with the cost of living. She wasn't a millionaire, but she had freedom. Real estate isn't just about big buildings and beachfront homes. It's about passive income and long-term value. And even if you can't buy a property outright, you can still invest in real estate through REITs, real estate investment trusts, companies that let you buy shares in real estate portfolios. Want a starting point? Check out public REITs like Realty Income or Public Storage. They've been paying out monthly dividends for years. 6. Gold, a timeless shield against chaos. Gold isn't just for treasure chests and pirate stories. It's a proven store of value, and it's been that way for thousands of years. When economies wobble and currencies lose value, gold stands firm. In times of crisis, central banks buy gold. Why? Because it's indestructible, scarce, and universally valued. It doesn't rust, it doesn't vanish, and it doesn't rely on political decisions. You can hold physical gold in coins or bars, or you can invest in gold ETFs like GLD. Either way, it's a smart way to hedge against uncertainty. I like to think of gold as a financial version of a seatbelt. You don't need it every day, but when you do, you'll be glad you have it. 7. Collectibles, hidden gems that bring joy and wealth. Now, this one might surprise you. Collectibles, things like rare watches, vintage cars, art, even certain Lego sets have been quietly beating the stock market over the past few decades. It sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the thing. These assets are limited in supply and loved by communities who value them deeply. That creates demand, and demand drives value. A friend of mine bought a vintage guitar back in the 90s for around $800. Today, it's worth over 15. And all he did was keep it safe and enjoy playing it every Sunday afternoon. The rise of platforms like Masterworks and Rally now lets regular people invest in shares of fine art or rare items without needing millions in the bank. Collectibles aren't for everyone, but if you have an eye for beauty, history, or uniqueness, it's a creative way to grow wealth and enjoy the process. So there you have IT assets 4 through 7 on our journey to smarter, safer investing. Each one of these offers a way to protect your money while also giving it a chance to grow. And the best part, you don't have to be a millionaire, a finance expert, or a risk taker to start using them. Just take one small step. Choose the asset that speaks to you most and learn a little more. That's how real wealth begins, not with a big leap, but with a confident step in the right direction. Which of these 4 assets do you already use or are most excited to try? Type 4 in the comments if something clicked for you today. Next, in part 3, I'll show you how to prepare for emergencies without fear, keep control of your cash, and even build an income-generating asset from scratch. You don't want to miss that. It might change the way you look at money forever. Ready to keep going? Let's do it. By now, we've uncovered 4 powerful assets that can grow your money beyond the bank. Treasury bonds, real estate, gold, and even collectibles, all offering you real security, independence, and value. But here's something I've learned over the years. Money isn't just about growing wealth. It's also about having control when life throws you a curveball. So let's talk about the next 3 assets on our list. These are the ones that bring freedom, flexibility, and resilience. Whether there's a storm, a power outage, or a sudden twist in the economy, these tools help make sure you're ready. Let's pick up where we left off with asset number 8. 8. Physical cash. Real freedom in a world gone digital. Now, I know this sounds a little old school, but keeping some physical cash at home is one of the smartest things you can do. Think about it. When banks fail, systems crash, or your debit card just won't work, there's only one thing that really matters: having access to your money, not in an app, not behind a password, in your hands. Remember the Silicon Valley Bank collapse in 2023, or even earlier in Greece? Lebanon people lined up at ATMs just to get a few bills. Some of them waited all day and still walked away empty-handed. Having even 1 0 or 2 0 in a safe spot at home can bring enormous peace of mind. It's not for investing, it's your emergency lifeline. Something to use if your car breaks down, if digital payments fail, or if you just need groceries during a blackout. I've heard stories from folks across the country who said that having cash on hand saved them from real panic during tough times. They didn't need to borrow. They didn't need to stress. They were ready. It's simple, but it works. And honestly, that's what good money habits are all about. 9. Your own business. The asset you build, control, and grow. Now, this is the one I get most excited about. Starting your own business, having something small, is one of the most powerful moves you can make. It gives you freedom, control, and the ability to turn your time and ideas into real income. You don't need to invent the next Apple or Amazon. You just need to solve a problem, share a skill, help someone. One woman I know started a homemade candle business from her kitchen. Just a few jars, few cents. Today, she sells online, ships nationwide, and makes more money each month than she did in her old job, all from something she loved doing. Another gentleman started a YouTube channel reviewing gardening tools. Nothing fancy, but his videos picked up an audience. Now, he earns passive income through ads, sponsorships, and affiliate links. And he's having fun doing it. A business isn't just about profits, it's about purpose. It lets you decide when you work, how much you earn, and how you spend your time. And in a world where your job could disappear overnight, that kind of control is priceless. You can start small with platforms like Shopify, Etsy, or even Fiverr, or just offer a service in your neighborhood. The point is, you're creating something that puts you in the driver's seat. And the more you build it, the more it gives back. 10, the smart use of cash flow, letting money work for you. Once your business starts making money or your other investments start to pay dividends, you'll begin to understand one of the best feelings in the world. It's when your money starts working while you rest. This is called cash flow income that comes in without you having to trade your time for every dollar. Maybe it's rent from a small property, or profits from your candle shop, or monthly income from dividend stocks. Whatever the source, it gives you breathing room. It gives you options. And that's what investing is really about, not just piling up cash, but creating a life where you can breathe, enjoy, and share what you built. So as we wrap up this part of our journey, let's take a moment to reflect. What's one small change you can make this week? Maybe it's setting aside a little emergency cash. Maybe it's writing down an idea for a side business. Maybe it's just looking into how a dividend works. Every step counts. If this part inspired you, even a little, type 9 in the comments. I'd love to know who's starting to feel that spark of confidence growing. In part 4, we're going to explore the final piece of the puzzle, the boldest and most talked about asset of the last decade. One that challenges everything we thought we knew about money, but might just be the financial system of the future. Stay with me. It's going to be exciting. So far, we've talked about smart, reliable ways to protect your money: treasury bonds, real estate, gold, collectibles, keeping physical cash for emergencies, and even building your own business. You're starting to see the picture now, aren't you? We're not just talking about money. We're talking about independence, about choices, about peace of mind. And that brings us to the final asset on our list, the one that's made headlines, created millionaires, confused many, and intrigued almost everyone. 11, cryptocurrency, the digital revolution of money. Now, I want you to take a deep breath here, because if you've never dipped your toes into cryptocurrency, it can sound like some wild high-tech roller coaster. And in some ways, it is. But here's the truth. It's also one of the most powerful financial tools we've seen in the last century. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you live in a world where you can send money to your friend in another country instantly without going through a bank, where your savings aren't tied to the policies of any government, where no one can freeze your account, shut you out, or print more money to reduce its value. That's the world of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Back in 2010, you could buy a whole Bitcoin for less than the cost of a fancy coffee. Today, even a fraction of a Bitcoin is worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Why? Because people around the world are starting to realize its potential, not just as an investment, but as a completely new way of thinking about value. This isn't just about price charts and speculation. This is about freedom. Think about it. When Silicon Valley Bank failed, people lost access to their money. When inflation rises, your dollars buy less. But Bitcoin, it operates outside of those systems. It's decentralized, limited in supply, and available 24/7, no matter where you are in the world. Even big players are getting involved. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, now offers Bitcoin ETFs. Countries like El Salvador have adopted it as legal currency. And companies like MicroStrategy have shifted billions into Bitcoin as a long-term store of value. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. It's volatile, and you shouldn't put all your savings into it. But if you treat it like any other asset, learn the basics, start small, and grow your knowledge, it can be a smart and modern part of your financial plan. You don't need to be a tech wizard to begin. Platforms like Coinbase, Cash App, or Strike let you buy just a few dollars worth. Just like we've done with gold or real estate, you can take small, steady steps. I know a retired nurse who started learning about crypto during the pandemic. She didn't invest much, just 20 here and there. But the process gave her something more valuable than money: confidence, curiosity, the sense that she was stepping into the future, not being left behind by it. And that's what this is really all about. We started this journey asking a simple question: is your money really safe in the bank? Now, you know that you don't have to settle. There are tools, real, proven, and accessible, that can give you more than safety. They can give you freedom, peace of mind, and a future you're excited to live. From the most traditional, like bonds and real estate, to the most cutting edge, like crypto, you now have 7 smart assets in your toolkit. Whether you're in your 30s, 60s, or just getting started, it's never too late to take control of your financial journey. You don't have to do everything at once. Just take one step. Learn, explore, try, and watch what happens when your money starts working for you. Now tell me, which of the 7 assets are you most excited to try first? Type 10 in the comments if this episode helped you see investing in a new light. I read every message, and your feedback helps me make better content that really serves your future. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and always remember, your future is brighter than you think.